Hello, people of Earth. Today is the 8th of October 2023. This episode is episode number 4. It's a special episode because, as you can see, I'm covering my face to avoid any sort of criticism in the future, because I don't want my face to be associated with the views or standpoints that are going to be spoken today during this episode, because this episode is about views and standpoints. As we know, views, standpoints, beliefs, values, they change, they fluctuate throughout our whole lives, right? In a year or two, you can learn and find out so much information that you couldn't have imagined before, that you would just connect new dots in your brain and you'll see this world completely differently. That's exactly why I don't want my face to be shown in this particular episode, because we're discussing politics, we're discussing conflicts, we're discussing wars, something that I really don't like speaking about. I'm not saying I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in peace. This world is both good and evil, yin and fucking yang. So we can't exist without occasional violence. We can't exist without occasional tears, without death, okay? There is life, birth, death, right? Life is in between those two. But what's going on in the Holy Land, on the Holy Land right now? Israel and Palestine. This shit is getting out of control, because it's been more than 2 years, right? Something like that, from the beginning of the conflict with Ukraine and Russia. And of course, Israel and Palestine have always been fighting for the Holy Land, so I was never siding with any of them. Because I also live in Northern Europe, essentially. I don't have that much context, historical context. We don't learn that in schools. But from what I see now, Israel has close to unlimited military budget funding from the United States. And Israel has very strong intelligence. And Israel didn't see the attack coming. The attack, the infiltration, was by Palestinians, radical Palestinians, just paragliding, using paragliders to enter the Holy Land. That so many coups this year, the year of 2023, heavy year, heavy, hectic year. No one feels safe. If people say they feel safe, they don't. Even the ones that live in Australia or the United States, on different continents around the whole fucking world, nobody feels safe. Also, there is this delusion of nuclear third world war, which is most definitely not going to be the case. Nobody's going to press the buttons, because arms trading is where the money is. This is the reason of many conflicts: arms trading, biolaboratories, bioweapons. Not empty words. I'm not saying those are empty words. I'm saying threats are actually much more valuable than pressing the button itself. What's the point of eradicating a fucking continent, or half of a fucking continent, making essentially half of the world difficult to live on? Of course, globalist agenda essentially is about depopulation of the majority of this planet, because our planet is overpopulated. The population has doubled in the past 40 years. Because it's like geometrical progression, you know. You have two people, they fuck, create another person, then those two people fuck again, they create another person. No, this is inbred stuff. I'm not talking about this, but you understand geometrical progression, how it works. 2, 4, 6, etc., etc. It just becomes faster and more sped up and more sped up. Um, Nobody feels safe, and nobody should feel safe. Um, the conflict is nowhere near resolution. I was hoping that the Russia-Ukraine conflict would get resolved. No. UK, United Kingdom, already does not have anything to send to Ukraine. They ran out of troops to send to the Ukraine. Russian army is very, very desperate for manpower. Everyone is fleeing those countries and countries nearby. Then there is a lot of refugees coming from African continent into Spain, into Italy. So many refugees this fucking year. Not everyone is legal. People that are refugees, they're also fleeing war. They are hurt and scared by war, which radicalizes them. As a matter of fact, it does. I'm not even talking about gullible women that are controlled by their radical husbands. I'm not talking even about that. I'm just talking about radical husbands and their children. Everything is getting out of hand. What is the world coming to? We don't know. If you had some money, if you had some property, you need to liquidate it. You need to reinvest as soon as possible before the markets crash in 2024. And fucking buy a nuclear bunker or whatever, floats your boat. I wouldn't buy a nuclear bunker. I would just move to a safe land. I will call it safe land because continents aren't safe anymore, but there is still safe land within those continents. Alright, well, Jesus fucking Christ. This beginning of this episode has been only 7 minutes, has been very fucking intense. And you see, I'm gonna remind you about the beliefs. No matter what you believe in, it will fucking change. Not the core principles, not the core beliefs, but such little things as political standpoints. They will change, they will fluctuate. Nothing can save us. If you rely on others, you're a fool. You are a fool for relying on anyone but yourself. You're a fool for getting your information chewed up, the intel, chewed up by one party, by another party, then reacted by another one, and that's how you get your information. That's how you get your information fed to you on a spoon, chewed up by 3 different parties before. Are you fucking nuts? Are you a fool? Go out, open your eyes, open your mind, be like a sponge, and just get this information. Connect with the world, not with certain fucking figures that feed you the propaganda. Because if we talk about social media, this is what I studied in media. When it comes to social media, nothing is real. Because whenever you have an option to post, there is always the representation that you choose. And if there is an option to choose how you represent yourself, certain information or an event or whatever it might be, if there is an option to choose how to represent before posting, then in no way it will be real. It will always be biased, depending on your fucking mood, essentially. On your fucking mood. Isn't that funny? Don't believe what you see on social media. Go out, make your own conclusions. Speak to people, the professionals, the masters, the masons. Speak to them. Get the information. Use your mouth for the intended purpose. Not to just consume, but to speak. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Talking Voice Show. Welcome to the Talking Voice Show, Ep.4. Last episode has been filmed in July and it's fucking October. Am I not a fucking degenerate? Of course I am. I'm really sorry. I apologize for that. Yep. I'm a bit lazy. I don't always have something to speak about, but god damn, the world situation grinds my gears currently. God motherfucking damn. I find it unfair that I live in a country that completely relies on the West, on the United States, and its elected president and their fucking mood. I find it unfair. What's even more unfair that our people, not just the country or the government relies on that, our people are brainwashed to the point that they support United States, Israel, whenever, no matter what. You know why? Because we are controlled by them. Estonia is a tiny country that can't survive on itself. Yet, something that our kids are not taught in school that was actually classified information throughout the Soviet era is that there is a factory, a quarry in Estonia for uranium. Uranium is nuclear energy, right? This is why Estonia is so important as a strategical land. This is why the most the most central NATO headquarters are in Estonia. Not just because there is sea on the north, sea on the west, and Russian border on the east, but also because of uranium and phosphorus, of course, but uranium. And in schools, we are taught that there is only some rock and another rock and this healing mud. We never spoke about uranium in school, that Estonia is number 2 country in the whole wide world. Such a small country, it's number 2 in the whole world in the concentration of uranium. Oh my god. And it's not like secret, but you still need 2 Google requests to figure that out, to find those articles. It's difficult to come across, it's difficult to find. But it's not a secret. But we're also not taught. We're also not taught that. Now, why? You might ask why. It's so important. Why do you have to become schizophrenic first to figure out that Estonia is full of uranium? And that's a fact. That is not a delusion, actually. Number 2 in the whole world. Number 1 is like south of Russia, you know. Why is it that way? Well, if people knew, if people were to just be slightly more educated, we wouldn't trust our government. We just wouldn't trust our government. And Estonians really trust their government. Remember last winter, like it's October right now, winter is coming. But remember last winter, the spike in prices for gas, for whatever, because, you know, we're not getting Russian gas anymore. Remember that, how everyone had to suffer? Well, in the same fucking UK, instead of paying their fucking bills, people were taking those bills, paper, A4 sheets of paper, coming together near the parliament and burning them. Guess what was happening at the same time in Estonia? You go on social media and you look, everyone is asking, what fucking service do I switch to? What, offer do I switch to? Because my so-called packet is this one. It's a bit too expensive. Maybe I can start paying a bit less if I choose a different option. What the fuck? Is that the most direct action you could do? Seriously? I'm not pressuring anyone. I'm not pressuring anyone into direct action right now, but as we know, direct action beats reaction. And yeah. I'm not an anarchist. I believe in government. I believe that we as people are fucked and we should be governed. Because, man, there should be, a fist, there should be spanking. This is, of course, very far-fetched phrases that I'm using, but you got my point. There should be someone above us, always. If not God, then government, okay? Um, God is essentially the government as well, with all its crusades. First episode, I couldn't remember the word crusades. There you go. But not to this extent, not to the extent of them abusing their power and manipulating their people. People still should be free. And of course, government and freedom are kind of contradicting themselves, but it could be worked if there was only to be actual democracy. And then democracy fails. We studied that in politics. 51% versus 49%. Literally, there is a majority, yes, there is a majority, but what is this majority? It's literally half and half. Half of the country wants this, half of the country wants that. You can provide them with both. You can. Only if you fucking wanted to. And I'm speaking to you directly. My lovely camera. The world is fuck. World is a fuck. Kill them all. Kill them all. Even the masonry is failing these days. The brotherhoods are failing. They're not as brotherly as there could be. You know what's even more fucked? Speaking about religion, back to religion. Islam, brothers, you're my brother, I'm your brother type shit. Well, why are you not taking your brothers that are suffering war right now into your country? Why do they have to go to Europe, where they're discriminated, where they're hated upon, where they get more radicalized? Why don't you accept your brothers from the neighboring country? Of course, it's the case with Estonia and Russia as well. Russians don't like Estonians, Estonians don't like Russians. But it's not because we're brothers, we're not. Oh my fucking god, this world is a fuck. I'm very sorry for the terms I'm using right now, but world is a fuck. And if you think that any sort of conflict is closing to resolution right now, no, everything is going towards the Third World War. People are fleeing the safest, so it seems, countries. Nobody's feeling safe, I repeat, nobody's feeling safe. I have this thing where I say the weekly, monthly, whatever, quote of the day, song of the day. It won't be the case. There is no more music playing. The music has stopped. All the quotes are out of our brains. We're not thinking about food delivery anymore. We're not thinking about comfort. We're not thinking about shopping. We're thinking about tomorrow. We're anxious. We're not even thinking about past. We're thinking about tomorrow. We're anxious. Anyway, the best thing to do is to not be a so-called model citizen. What I mean by that is don't vote. Keep your voting record clean. I committed a mistake last year that I voted for the first time in my life at the age of 21, even though I always wanted to keep my voting record clean, because siding with this fool's game is a fool's deed, okay? If you take sides, you don't see clearly what is going on. You don't. Unless you side for some sort of personal gain, personal benefit, then I can kind of understand your hypocritical, cynical ways. Unless you're a cynic and you say openly that you're a cynic by being a fucking politician, don't side with anyone. Don't side with left or right or fucking middle, because a coin has 3 sides. If it has 2 sides, no, how about the rebro, as we say in Russian? Don't side, don't vote. It can go beyond that, paying taxes, registering, IDing. It can go beyond that. It can go into digital footprint, any sort of footprint. We are controlled, we are registered, we are a property of the government that we belong to, because we fucking belong to them essentially. And these words is exactly why I'm hiding my face right now, even though I'm not telling anyone to do things. I'm telling people to not do things. And even this can get me in trouble. But look, this episode is not gonna get more than 80 views. This episode is not gonna get more than 5 likes and 2 comments. But if you see this, I'm speaking the truth. This is the talking voice. And you are my main guest of the show. Well, it is a show. It is a show. Whatever is happening in the world is a show as well. The world is a stage. And you're the actor. Isn't it? Isn't it like that? But let me talk about sports. Should I talk about sports? Yes. There is such sport as football, which I completely despise. Hockey, I don't like it. Figure skating, fuck you, go to hell, you know? Basketball, why not throw some hoops? Tennis, wonderful sport. Martial arts, go to hell, unless it's something like this Brazilian, what is it called? Oh my god, my brain is melting. I can't speak about sports. Well, anyway, my point is, personally, I don't like watching sports. Motor sports, football, I don't enjoy watching sports. Playing sports is nice. Physical activity is a wonderful thing that keeps you healthy, active, and gets your mind off such things as we're talking about right now. Because world is a fuck. World is a fuck. This episode is a bit depressing. I'm really sorry for that. All you need to do is take care. Take care. Care for yourself, love yourself, because nobody will love you as much as you love yourself. Then, care for the closest people to you, the ones that were always there and will be there no matter what. Those are friends and family. The friends in the true definition, not in the definition of social media. The actual friend that will come to you whenever you're ill to bring you medicine or food. The friend that will lend you money. The friend is who checks up on you. The friend is who has seen you at the worst and at your best. That is a friend. A friend is not someone who likes your posts or replies occasionally to your stories. That is not a friend. Oh my god. I'm using my phone to record my voice right now. And it's just distracting. I need to put night mode on because I can't concentrate on my thoughts right now. Yeah, now we're talking. No notifications for some time, please. Yeah, getting your mind off things is very important as well, either by doing sports. Remember I was talking about runners in episode 1, how much I hate runners and cyclists? Well, at least they're doing something, you know? At least they're doing something. Whatever it is, you're coping with the fucked up reality you're living in. Respect. And it's not self-destructive. It's self-destructive in terms of you fuck up your joints, you know, by running. But other than that, you have nothing to worry about if you're running to escape this reality. I know what you're running from. I see you on the street running in -8 degrees or positive 8 degrees Celsius. I know what you're running from. But will you get there? And how fast? Seriously, don't vote. Keep your voting record clean. Don't you understand? The people in politics, there is like three types of people in politics, as I discovered by, dipping my toes in politics. Whenever someone proposes themselves for like a position annually, they have to speak about themselves for a minute or two. Those who propose themselves, 2/3 propose themselves, shine their face. Those 2/3 literally say that they've been actors, they were in drama, involved in drama, dramaturgia. And those people are actors. Then there is second third of people that present themselves. And those are businessmen. They look different, they behave differently. They're very well kept and they don't smile as much. You can see that they're there literally for monetary gain, not for the interest of people. Because even the same actors, they are even more alive, if you know what I mean. They're more humane. They wouldn't pick a gun and start shooting everyone. Businessmen would. And then the third of people that actually don't propose themselves for any annual positions and don't shine their face on TV every day, that third is something combined with acting and being a businessman. I call them mobsters, good fellas, right? Nothing fucking changes. Oh, newsflash. All these conflicts that happen, are they really for the territory? Okay, some conflicts happen because of the territorial disputes. This is my land because it has this. No, it is my land because I was here first. But most conflicts happen, once again, for some other sorts of profit. Resources. Resources are scarce. There's so many resources in this world that just cannot get replenished, at least in our lifetimes. Then, interest of money, interest of power comes in. That's why people become politicians or mobsters. If these politicians didn't want money and power, they would be cleaning toilets at gas stations for the people, for the people, because that's servicing the people. Working in public sectors, is serving people. Politicians don't serve people, anything but lies. Or delusions, should I say. Politics is a fool's game. It is a fool's game, unless you're smart with it. And man, even politicians don't sometimes see what the fuck is going on unless they're an actual part of the parliament or whatever. It's so funny how many people seemingly prefer to be blind and controlled. Your strings that you have in life, not the chains that you forge for yourself and live in, the strings that you naturally have in life. Do you allow these strings to be pulled by everyone? The people you don't even know, the people that might not know you. Are you ready to be this doll, marionette? Think about it, man. You are a tool. If you vote, you're a tool. A tool for those power-tripping maniacs. You're just a tool. You're not something alive. You're less than that. You're less than a human. Not for me. I see that you're just a fool, that there is still human in you. They don't. They support you being a fool. That's their wish. Globalist agenda states that it's easier to control the less educated populace. That's a fact. The lesser you know, the better your sleep is. And honestly, successful people would tell me, as they were, to not shoot to the stars, to not think about something you can't, you know, you can't influence even. Not just you can't change, you can't influence. But it's anything. An individual holds no power, even when it comes to voting. It's an illusion. And illusions are there to once again control the populace. You vote. What did it change? What did it fucking change? Is your life better now? You didn't vote. Nothing will change if you don't vote. Same with fucking voting. What's the point of voting? It's an illusion. There is way too many things like that in our everyday life. They're closely tied to politics, to central banks, to corporations, essentially. You know, life is a game, and if you're not a player, if you're not one of them, you're just a tool. You're a tool. A fucking instrument. A fucking screwdriver. Or a hammer, depending on who you are. I seriously don't like the world we're living in. It makes me too existential. Being independent for a couple of years by now, like completely independent, just made me not want to be a part of life, okay? There is just one but. I'm 22. I turned 22. In the last episode, I was still 21 years of age. In this episode, I'm already 22 years of age. My days are fucking numbered, okay? So are yours. So there is a point in living if you're gonna make it. But what's the point of living if you're gonna make it towards your 40s or 50s or fucking 60s? So your whole life will be wasted working for someone else, for someone else's interest, ruining your own relationships, ruining your own life and health, mental, physical, as we spoke in the first episode, all health is correlated. If one suffers, another one will suffer as well. So, and it's difficult to take care of such simple things as your health if you're not made in this world. There is everything that needs to be paid for. Everything. I've seen the graph recently, starting from the 60s up to the present day. The price for I don't even want to talk about it, man. It's so depressing. The price for housing, okay, housing prices compared to the salary raises. This is the housing prices, and this is the salary raises. They're not correlated anyhow. You think inflation affects everything the same? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. We're still getting 4 euros, 5 euros, 6 euros per hour at the regular jobs. Max, man, you're lucky if you're getting more than 6 euros. I'll tell you what. But that 6 euros an hour cannot even cover a meal at McDonald's. It cannot. It cannot. And then that meal at McDonald's is becoming smaller and smaller. Like, think about that, the circumference of a Big Mac, how thin the patties are. What the fuck happened? When did that happen? I will tell you when. Ages ago. 80s. Infiltration by the globalists. Long, elaborate plan, 50-year plan. Oh my God. Are we even thinking about that? No. Like literally, a couple of years ago in Estonia, there was this promotion in McDonald's, this Grand Big Mac. The Grand Big Mac, when I bought it, I expected a Grand Big Mac. What it was is the same Big Mac from back in the day, the same size. So I looked at the regular Big Mac and I realized, what the fuck happened to Big Mac? So the Big Mac is not big anymore. It's like it's like a tiny fucking sandwich, like a hamburger. And the Grand Big Mac is how Big Mac usually was, if that makes any sense. They were charging like 80 euros for that shit. And now a regular Big Mac meal costs like 80 euros. More than your hourly salary. Why do you think that's normal? Why are you ready to accept that as an Estonian person? Why are you not taking any direct action? I'm not talking about petitions. Petitions don't work because petitions just allows the government to acknowledge that problem. It won't make them do anything about it but to discuss it. Why are you ready to get fucked? And when it comes to bills, why as an Estonian person do you think, oh, should I rotate my ass to get fucked by this party, or should I rotate my ass to get fucked by another party, or maybe both, you know? What the fuck is your problem? Why do you accept your fate? It's not your fate. It's not your fate being fucked by everyone above you. It's not. It's not your fate to be blind on purpose. It's not. Control your own destiny. Shape your own reality. Be a fucking mason of your whatever it is. I don't want to say that you have a life. Hopefully you do. But I would call it existing. Plain existing as a fucking tool, as an instrument, as we said before. Why do you want to accept that? You don't want to accept that? Oh, why haven't you been researching your shit? Why do you believe fact checkers? Have you ever looked at the Instagram terms of use and service? What you can't post? You can't even discuss age on Instagram anymore. Age, not just race or gender or sex. You can't discuss age to be monetized. Why is it normal? What, age doesn't matter anymore all of a sudden? What, there is no difference between a 10-year-old and a 50-year-old? What, we can't discuss that. Are we ready to comply? Do we know what we're complying to? Please don't be a fool. Don't side with anyone. Be apolitical if you don't understand the game. Just don't take part in it. Like you wouldn't take part in math classes because you don't understand what the fuck is going on. Unless you're asking questions about whatever the fuck you don't understand, why would you take part in it? If that makes any sense. And it's hardcore. Just going outside or scrolling through social media, looking at all these fools, man. And what do they do when they hear the truth? First off, they don't hear it. Upon discovering that you're trying to propagate the reality to them, because your reality is universal, meaning it's the same for everyone. The reality is one. I just showed two, but it's one. So why do you fucking do that? Why do you not research? Why do you not read? Why do you not know history? Because we can judge the present, or see actually what's going on in the present, in today's world, by looking at the past. The fucking last 100 years of history at least, looking at the CIA works, looking at the governments, you know. Of course there is a lot of rewrites in history, as we know. But some facts, they stay, and you make the judgments. How does it make you feel? You make the judgments. And how do we predict the future? Do you want to predict the future? Do you want to live safe? Do you want to know what to do tomorrow or in the next year? Do you want to know what's the best country to live or be in, or what's the safest place to be in? It's not just judging by the present as well. It's also looking at the past. Well, study history, study geography, study the basic biology, for fuck's sake. What stops you from it? The resources are there, the resources are online. I'm not talking about social media, even. I'm not talking about being propagated some sort of a side, some sort of a truth. I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about books, scientific records, patents on Google. Since you want to use Google, why not use the knowledge board in Google? You know, the one that gives you the information about different metric systems and whatnot. If you want to see how much 8 degrees Celsius is, as I mentioned, you Google 8 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, it's going to give you like 40 something, right? Something like that. That's the knowledge panel, it's facts. You can't manipulate it, nobody can. And soon, they're going to take that away from you because there is this online library, you know, free online library that is just supported by a group of people. Free online library. The Congress, it was already a couple months ago, but the Congress voted for, well, essentially difficult access to that online library. Online library that contains so much valuable information for everyone. It was for the benefit of the people. For the benefit, of course, there will always be someone who starts looking for anarchy cookbooks and whatnot. Don't do that. You're the cause. They don't want us to have free access to books anymore, especially online. Well, there is much more to it, of course. The interests of the government, of the Congress and whatnot. But hey, just don't be vile. Don't abuse the fact that so many things are free if you're interested in them. The world is a fuck. Kill 'em all. Kill 'em all, man. Kill 'em all. I don't support many crimes, but murder, I feel like murder is one good fucking crime for this world. It's like being child-free, you know? You can be child-free either because you're a moron or because you're smart, because you actually care for this world, and you see that it's overpopulated, and you see that your children probably won't have a bright future, no matter what you do. Why not murder? I'm so sorry. I should not be saying this. It's a joke. It's a show. You know it. But in any sort of way, I should not be saying it even if it's a show. For the laughs and giggles, as we know. But anyway, welcome to the Talking Voice show. The only show that I know about that has absolutely no script, that is completely real, and maybe not so far-fetched from reality. Maybe not. You really need to take care for yourself, the closest people to yourself. Like, grow some balls, grow up, change as a person for the better. You know, build and mold and shape your own future, shape your own life, help the ones that were always there for you. I would call some names, but as we know, this episode is not about revealing who you are. Even though I already gave a lot of personal, sensitive information in this episode, like my age and the age in the last episode. So there is just a couple months of figuring out who I can be. It doesn't matter. Now, there comes this thing as jobs, right? Jobs. I want to have a job. I would prefer to have a job that doesn't make me want to end my life. Because it's been the case for many years, even in the 70s, man. You get your paycheck, and it's enough to just pay the rent and buy food and go out once or twice. Is that life? Is that what you're wasting 70% of your life on, working for the rest 30%? So you can just survive? Is that the way? No. Sadly, I want a job just to survive. I want a job just to survive. And I believe that in that job, I could be lucky enough to get noticed by you know who, get initiated. But it's so rare because you just burn yourself out in that job. Well, instead, for the past couple of years, even though I had jobs, I've been completely invested in my hobbies. I've been shaping my reality. I've been creating legacy. This show, music, art. Like, holy shit. Why is my camera blinking right now? Hold up. Something is up. Why is my camera blinking? Oh, the battery is dying. Well, dear people of the world, thank you so much for joining this episode. I'm not sure why my battery is dying. It should have had a bigger capacity, but this is one of the hidden signs, or so they call hidden signs, to stop talking. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Talking Voice Show. I'm your host, and you're my main guest. Tune in for the next one, if the war doesn't kill us all. And remember, I'm not a pacifist, I just don't like talking about war and conflicts because we have no control, no influence over it as an individual. Don't vote, don't be the model citizen, and don't waste your whole life working for someone else, please. Take care. Take care.